Okay, good morning. Good morning, Twitch. And anybody watching this later on YouTube, good morning to you too. We're gonna finish off the Aftermath map. We got 86% on that. It was enough that we finished the entire storyline, but not all the side quests on that map. So we're gonna go back and finish that. And then I think Incommunicado is where we're going next. Let's see about taking care of some business here. Still kind of a new game to me, so it's all fun. But if you hear somebody um, griping in the background, that'd be my wife. Twitch has disabled her regular channel, so today she's going to be working on a different Twitch channel in the hopes of continuing with normal life, streaming and running things for a period of time. Yeah. Now, let's see what we got for lists of things to do. No main objectives, just the side objective. Send a convoy with concrete to the harbor base. And repair the pumping station. Ooh, okay. So I think we're going to need a truck. You always need a bigger boat. I'm being heckled from the background. There we are. Well, actually, we need that, but in a different spot than this. Retain it again. Now, I've not paved that road except on my for fun file, so we're gonna have them go kind of up and around the puddles that gave me so much trouble previously. And we'll track that thing, open it, click on it, open it some more, and see about setting up the routing. I don't strictly need these things done at this time, but it can be useful to have. I don't know. I'm blinded by the bright pipes. I hope everybody's doing well on this nice, semi-almost calm Sunday morning. And we'll see if this works out. Sid and I played a file, and we went up and around this way. Because there's this blockage here, and there's nothing we can really do because it's dynamic stuff. You can't destroy or anything. And you're dwelling on it again. Okay. I signed up for your other channel. So this is gonna look a little zigzaggy. I'm not zigzagging on purpose. It's just that's the start point. Where are you supposed to end this thing? Oh. Ah! Why did it tell me way back over there? Stupid thing. Okay, delete last point. A couple more last points. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I went the wrong way. That's all that was. I didn't see where the end point was on it. So the big thing with trucks on this game is that they don't turn on a dime, which is normal. And you have to plan for that. Give them space to turn. And let's see how many times this thing comes close to tipping over. Great view. Awesome. Truly cinematic. So just to give people a heads up, that blue building we just passed is actually a recovery point for when you first start this map. So it's important to find that. Yeah, pull in there. That way it activates. And then if something happens, you know, you get stuck in a puddle or whatever have you, or you flip the truck somewhere, you know, on the way to the harbor, the beginning of it, you have a recovery point that's not quite all the way back to the beginning. It helps. Alright, we're coming up on a moment of truth here. We get good and stuck on the rocks. Well, that's one spot we could fix. I couldn't predict that one. Okay. We're going to come over here to our garage. And pull out a bulldozer. I use my good bulldozer, not the rusted one that you give you. steal some rocks. Now, I created a for fun save file and went a little overboard on paving. At one point, I paved this, I paved this crossroad, all the way to the warehouse. Everything. The only thing that slowed you down were a few little minor rocks. But, that's not the reality on the streaming video. So here we are. Now I figured out that there's, well, some help from a friend. I figured out there's two roads on this. One road leads right down along the beach. The other road is this. This is a little rough. A lot rough. Row. We might need to bring out a rescue vehicle for our rescue vehicle. I see the wrong turn I took. I should have gone a little bit more to the right on the palm tree. Well, let's try this again. This is the beauty of it. Garage. We haven't gone very far. Retain and redeploy. Let's try that again. Take the other exit too. More pavement time. Over that palm front didn't work too well. Maybe go around it. Do this? No. I'm not winning that fight. Not even on the dozer. So I think we're gonna reroute our routing for that other truck. We're gonna have to come down here along the beach. I don't know, Sid came up with an alternative. It didn't work too well for me just then. Maybe on the way back. And one of the goals of this run is to have it to where the NPC can do the driving himself with no help from us. Otherwise the routing fails. See, up and around, and that was too easy. That's that spot. The other way you could do this is with a truck with a crane and literally pick up the rocks. I went for the bulldozer. It's not pushing any of the dirt, in case you're wondering. So, the bulldozer in this game is great. Anything you put down as far as sand goes, you can move. The ground that's already there, nothing. You're thinking, why would that be significant? Well, any dirt that's already on the ground is the base of the map. And they kept their base map the way it is. They're doing it that way. So while it looks like you're pushing around all kinds of dirt and debris and whatever else have you, basically the only thing you can move are dynamic objects. Kind of the same thing with Farm Simulator, where you have to put down ground in order to move it around. But yeah. Okay, another rocks we need to move. And then something else I discovered by trial and error a little bit. If my memory serves me, and I believe it will, when I start the truck up again, it's going to start from where it left off, which is in this area. Pull this guy out of the way. Fire up that truck. And be able to watch it go by. See, and it got past those rocks. We're just gonna follow him, make sure he gets there. And, well, the drivers in the NPC cars are not the most brilliant on the planet. They are, however, effective for getting some things done. Apparently better than I am at driving. Yeah, that happened. Okay, well, we'll retain that. In a minute, we're going to spectate this guy. Not sure I care for their cinematic view. It didn't work too well. This was the direction that Sid was pointed when he found this road, so maybe it's just me that messed it up. Ah, there we are. Okay. Now, if I was gonna go crazy again, I'd just pave the whole thing. You know, and follow exactly the route we just gave it. But I don't see a need to pave it because you made it through. And that's that task complete. Okay, he's there. We can work on the other things now. First things first, we'll retain our bulldozer. Oh, no, well, he's, yeah. The red's turning green, that's what that is, okay. Garage. We're going to retain the bulldozer. Now, the other project has us replacing pipes, which means we have to get pipes. And that means starting at the mountain base. All the way over here. Wait a minute. Very dumb idea. Nope, I don't have any pipes in stock. extract that, open it up, infrastructure replace with pipes 1. From the warehouse, follow the pipeline. Oh, let's zoom in a bit more on it. This nice bright white line, light blue, whatever that is. Somewhere along here we're going to find a red spot. Way out here. Well, that spot looks different. There it is. There it is. Okay, so we need a pipe. So we're gonna have to hit the garage. And you'll notice that any vehicle that has a price tag has the price tag of 0. So we're in good shape on that. That's just the way I set the map up, or the file up. And to see how I set that all up, go back to my previous stream or video, new toy syndrome. And we need to create a pipe. So we have to grab some junk or something, metal junk specifically, put it into the production, let it do its thing, and then take it all the way across the map. Let's see, we've got other logistics that are still running. All kinds of things we could throw in. We'll find something at the destination here in a minute. It's a road we built previously, and then I extended a little bit skinnier. It worked out. In case you're wondering how come I look like such a professional with the crane, one, I've been playing an alternate file and played with Sid last night. And just time and experience gives you this capability. And two, I've played other games from the same manufacturer, and you know, the controls are very similar. Snow Runner, Mud Runner, they pretty much work the same. They did change some controls. I'll give them that. There's a lot of things that are actually different on this, but the base mechanics are the same. But this is a new effect for them. And now we have one pipe created. I'm not going overboard and creating a bunch of them. We're just going to create the pipe we need. Now the production is up and running. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't need to create a bunch of pipes. I can't sell them or anything like that for money. So here we are. Now we just roll right on back across the map, all the way over there, and put a pipe in place. So this was a spot where I got good and stuck, and I paved it because I got upset with it, and it works. Notice that I don't have anything really in stock except for 8 slabs. I'm not worried about all that, as you don't keep your inventory, which would have been nice if you did, but you don't. So the inventory that's here stays here. It's a completely separate world that way. Let's see how broken we can get over here now. Or can I be sneaky? Nope. Maybe. Yep. Didn't work. Much stuff. Yeah, that's... Oh, that reminds me, I gotta turn on the computer. range of all the automated drivers. You can roll this puddle. See? Height clearance. Truck. The truck has the height clearance to it. Low gear. Out of the puddle. Come on. There we go. Out of the puddle and back to regular. Now, as I said before, I can go crazy, go back and get all my equipment, and craft more roads, but do I need to? Probably not. However, you gotta tell it where to go. See, I would have expected the phosphate plant to be working on this and just take rocks to it to make concrete, but that's not how they went with it. But you can pick up the rocks and move them if you need to. Targeting system, well, it's okay. It needs a little tweaking. Aim for the closest rock or object. That would have been good. And away we go to the next obstacle. More rocks. I suppose we could take these rocks, put them in one of those empty spaces where we could build a bridge or a road, and use them as part of that. But that's getting a little more out there. So simple to change targets for my Xbox, which is what I'm on. It's left bumper and X to change targets. Oh yeah, and you notice that I put the feet down every time. That's for stability. This game definitely has a good physics engine. Look at how much the truck dips. You pick up the heavy rock. Okay. And I use the parking brake quite a bit. Also, if you're putting vehicles on the transport vehicle, make sure to set the parking brake on what's being put on the transport. And use the parking brake on the transport while you're loading it. It makes life a lot easier. So I think we'll just go this way. I'm trying remember my routing here. Ooh, this way. There it is, the red. So is that all you're gonna stream for the minute? Okay. Sure sound like you will.
That pumping station isn't looking too great. It's not on our list of required fixes, but it could still use some of your magic.
Alright. Where'd our spot go? Oh, we passed it. Look at that. And to fix this, we're gonna have to pull the old pipe down. Because it's a good habit to get the old rusted stuff out of there. I throw it on the truck. I may or may not bother to take it anywhere to get rid of it on the map. Don't absolutely have to. Just like your aim can be that bad with that. But that's all objectives complete. And just to show, that's still going.
Good work. If the locals don't appreciate it yet, they soon will.
All goals completely complete. The only thing still going is this piece here. There's 5 slabs to go. But that's all you're gonna get out of it is slabs. You don't get anything else. So I'm going to take and actually hit the harbor base garage and retain my truck. It's just a good practice. Good habit to get in. Don't need to go anywhere with that now. All our vehicles are off the map except for that NPC that's doing the driving. See, no markers for vehicles. It's okay by me. I have another NPC running down to Panama. That's a completed request. See, all these are going. That one needs. That needs help. Really? Let's dispatch vehicles and see what's going on. I didn't know it had stopped. Or maybe that's the one we crashed into. So we ran them down this street. Hang right. And hopefully not crash into the other NPC driver. Which looks like they're going to do exactly that. Beep! Only 2 vehicles on the road, and they crash right into each other. Okay, well, nobody ever said NPCs were smart, but I guess my routing is to blame on this one. See, all rewards received. What's this one need? Ah! Dispatch vehicles on that. All rewards received. Completed. Wood built. Blah blah blah. Oop, there's another one that's. Oh, dispatch vehicles there now. All points received on that too. All awards received. No rewards remaining. So this area is up and running all the way. Alright, so we don't have to do anything else on this map. We can actually back out of this, if it'll let me. Oh, I had to select a vehicle in order to go back to the other view. There we go. Okay, now that we have control of a vehicle, because there's no on-foot character for this game, or SnowRunner, or MudRunner for that matter, and yet it's not a race car game, that's fine by me. I want to play race cars right this minute. We can hit the menu, return to hub. If you're playing multiplayer, the client side, whoever's helping the host, make sure to back out, or maybe stay put, because it gives you the opportunity to join right away. And I love the loading screen on these games where they give you ideas and tips and tricks and stuff. So we're going to go to Incommunicado. We did play a little bit of this on stream previously. We're just going to pick up where we left off on that and keep going. But that gets that map completed completely. And so far as I've seen, we don't go back to that region. It's fixed. It's time to move on to new places. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, I'm going to switch to that truck. This truck we're going to take up to our mountain base. This is another one that I played a little bit with Sid. Well, quite a bit with Sid. We got through a few of the objectives, but on my own I got through even more of them. So, kind of have an idea what I'm doing. This was one of the objectives up here. Oh. Oh, maybe we already did that. So, somewhere out there is a steel beam factory. And a power substation that needs fix. And they're both still in the clouds. There's two places to visit there. There's one place to visit on that one. We got a side project. Deliver the cargo truck to the Highland base. Open that one up. That's apparently where that truck is. Or that's where we're trying to reach. We're going to track that for a minute. So we don't have a lot of vehicles out on this map right now. Notice. Go back to our other truck. We're just going to leave this in this truck and roll on down the road. And yes, you see that I have junk in the truck. It's fine. We're going to make use of it soon enough. So this nice gravel road seems to be civilized enough. Yeah, a few pieces of debris across it here and there. Nothing the truck can't handle and just run over and destroy. Minor puddle, even the pickup truck wouldn't have trouble with. I feel sorry for the farmer. His tractor's a little stuck there. Ooh, here's a road that needs build. If you look at the map, you can't see the other end. Well, that's gotta cause some trouble. Let's go for an adventure. We'll go to the other end. across the swamp here. Because I discovered something on my own file, as opposed to this file is my streaming file. That in order to build this road properly, you have to see both ends, for one. For two, that's one of the destinations we're trying to get to. Now when we look at the map, we can see this area. It unlocks the fog. It's going to trigger in here. And that is this one. No? Oh, that's one of the 2 objectives on that. So we got a check mark up there now. And now it wants us to reach the other destination there. So we're going to head there. This place is a shambled mess. But that won't stay that way for long. Because it is the same save file, I still have all my vehicles. I still have all my freebies that I can make use of. I don't have to worry about paying for vehicles. That particular mechanic is turned off. I don't know how much other stuff it affects, but there's that. So, that's that objective. And we can track something else now. We're going to try and find the power station. Now remember, in that previous map, we did acquire a wire layer. A subterranean wire laying device. So I'm going to make use of that pretty soon up in this area. Which means I either have to put it on that big transport vehicle I've got, or drive it out here. One or the other. Okay, and here's our power station. What do we need to do here? Oh, deliver a vehicle here. What vehicle? The vehicle that was there. What do you bet that's the one we just took to the base? This guy. Alright, let's head up that same direction, although that road does need to be paved, I think, but that's something we can worry about another time. This truck is capable of making it through that mess, or there's another route, and I'll show that to you real quick. We'll work on that instead. Needs a bit more equipment. And as usual, these rusty variants of trucks leave a little bit to be desired. But when you deliver this one, it goes away, so that's fine by me. Being that this is one of the rusty variants, maybe I won't go across that swamp. this route. We went past the swamp turnoff. Hey, that looks like a little bit of a ravine. Well, we're gonna park this thing and bring up a bulldozer and a dump truck, I think. What? Your phone? Huh. Well. We have that out and about. Interesting. I didn't know I did. Switch the vehicle. Where is it? In the bulldozer right there. Oh. Well, where is right there? Where are we? I don't even... Oh, over by the port. I don't know anything about what I'm doing at the port. Oh, we paved this road. We just haven't... Or we sanded this road. We haven't paved it. Okay. I didn't remember doing that. Alright. Well, we're gonna get this thing fired up and on the road. This is one of those where I wish the NPC would drive it for me, but that's just not the reality. The NPCs on this game are a little limited. They have pre-programmed things they can do for you, and that's it. But we'll throw some sand in the back of this thing and roll on down the road. And I wish they'd quit changing my camera. I don't want it zoomed in on the vehicle real tight. I like being able to see what's going on. This thing fishtailed on me. I'll just come up here past the base. Down the other side through the relay area. Fishtailing and zigzagging all the way. I think we could just run the dump truck for right now. Unless we fill it in too much, and then we need the bulldozer, so we'll probably go and get that real quick. And we need it up here in this area anyway to make that road. Matter of fact, we're gonna sand the road with an NPC and go and get our bulldozer in the meantime. There we go. NPC starting their job. Let's go and get our dozer. Again with the camera angle bit. Apparently the sand recovers from being driven on quite quickly. So, storyline, in case somebody missed it, behind this particular map is that the area has been hit by a hurricane. We're here to take and recover the area before the residents move back into the area. That's why there's no traffic around. At least that's their claim to fame of why. only people out here are myself and my team. Whoever's running these factories for me, which is probably part of my team. There's a couple roads to be paved that are ones that the game has determined need to be paved. And then there's other areas that I'm going to pave or manipulate like this. I can't put down bridges. I won't let me lay bridges in this one at the moment. I don't know why. But also, if you notice, we have no concrete slab. So that's a thing. Just kind of cruise on up the road here. Alright. And I'm going to have my NPC flatten this out. At the other end, we're going to meet up with our dump truck. And we'll just spectate this guy for a minute. He just throws it in a low gear and rolls on over it. Nice and smooth except for the tire ruts. And it spreads out the sand a little bit each time you do this. So we might take our dozer there, bulldozer, if you will, and run it back over this just to flatten it out some more and widen it just a bit. Because right now this is the basic width road. That's all we get is a basic width. See, and then he's gonna be done. And I don't know why it shot me up into the sky like that, but it did. Bulldozer. Enter. See? There it is. So we're going to do this a different way this time. We're not going to sit and watch him. Let him do his business. And then we're going to jump in the truck. Let the bulldozer lead. Like I said, he's going to lower the road a little bit more and spread it out just a bit. He's going to lower it a little bit and spread it out. Jeez. Wife is kibitzing again. Kibitzing. Alright, that guy just gets parked there, which is fine and dandy. I can work with that. And each of those steps can be repeated. It doesn't look like he adjusted it very much though. But with the settings that I've got set, I can come up here with the dump truck, pull the U-turn, empty the truck. I'm gonna get it turned around. And you'll love this part. Just drop it in the ravine. Close the tipper. And refill right away. Now, if you're not playing with the settings that I've got set right now, you have to drive down the road a little ways to get more sand. It's not terribly far. It's actually just short of where that road we just worked on is. But it is a little bit of driving back and forth. With the settings I've got set on this file, I don't have to go. Just sit here and up and down. It just drops piles of sand. Well, it is going to spread out a little bit, but that's okay. Here's where we're going to need the dozer. We dropped a little closer to the land on this side. So it put a little bit of a berm there, which is okay. And just when we're working on something mundane like this, I'll remind everybody on Twitch to follow and subscribe. You know, throw a comment in the chat. That'd be great. I'm looking to try and put together some people that'll watch the stream, for one, and for two, that'll just start a conversation. It doesn't have to be anything special. It can be what you made for dinner last night. It can be what you had for breakfast today, whatever have you. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the nature of the conversation, as long as it's not vulgar or too adult or offers of sales, things that are not allowed on Twitch, like cheap viewers. Which for a while there, that was the only conversation I was getting, were people offering me cheap viewers, and that doesn't work with Twitch. They kind of frown on that for some odd reason. And I make it a point to mention it, because I've got my rules set to where you can't do that. Or I'll just report you. I don't know if this is how they actually do this kind of work. You know, dumping 10 tons of sand. I would imagine they just build a bridge, but I don't have the capability on this right now. Okay, where's that? Oh, that's all that stuff. Wrong way. This way. Somewhere. There it is. Wrong way. There we go. We're gonna bring this guy up to where we were on the other. You just drive it over there. I'll have to flatten it out sooner or later. Best to have this guy on hand. And in case you're wondering, no, in the real world, sand is not free. A company doing this kind of work would definitely pay for the materials. And the fuel, and yeah. I'm not playing realistic at the moment. This isn't strictly on the list of objectives for the map. This is just something quality of life wise to make things easier for me. So we'll pull a dump truck out of the way for a minute. Swap the bulldozer. Grab the blade. Run across it. Spreads it a little further on. Gets us that much closer to dump this. Look at that, almost to the other bank. Not quite passable, but getting there. Go back to our dump truck. Ooh. Don't want to be off the edge that much. Kind of see where we need more to work with. We should have gone back further. Well, half a sand later. Put this guy off to one side. Finally, switch vehicles a lot. A little dizzying. life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. When life gives you sand, you make a bridge. Definitely a game for all of us kids who used to take our toys out in the backyard and dig in the, in the dirt. Alright, need a little bit more sand over there. Far end. I think what we're going to do is flip a U-turn with the dump truck. This time we're going to run across it all the way, up the other bank, and try and connect it to the bank. Because that's worked in the past. See? Not quite civil as far as the road goes. Dump it on this side. Make sure that it's connected to this side. I mean, they could have put the word Tonka on the side of this truck and everybody would have been just as happy with it. But, you know. Or Ertl, or one of the other brands that makes the toy trucks. Would have been fun. Damn, we spread sand all the way to there. Sure that it connects to the road over here. And for those who are looking for me to play Farm Sim some more, yes, I'll go back on that as well. And just take a little bit of a break from it. There's some mods that are due to come out soon that I want to play with, so I'll get back to that soon. This way we have a definite path. So, for those who may have missed my previous streams and videos, it's okay to go back and watch those after this one. That's fine by me. If I could figure out how I would link them in the description on this video, on YouTube anyway, but I haven't figured that trick out yet. I think it's a computer thing I'll have to work on. Yeah. Oh, well, it's a trick I haven't learned yet. So, I'm kind of a basic streamer on YouTube. I don't do all the fancy stuff that's out there too much. And I'm on an Xbox for the recordings, so there's that. Alright, so our power plant needed some metal. Here we are. I have some metal. proof.
Okay, the factory looks good to go for now. Once, you know, it has power. I'm sure you understand what needs to be done. But if we're doing it by the book, restore the power supply to the factory according to regulatory blah blah blah. You get the picture. So, here's the gist. Lay a cable from the power substation to the factory. And please don't get electrocuted. I don't need that on my report. Or my conscience.
Well, at least our red-headed friend likes us enough to tell us not to get electrocuted. So, we're going to let this guy sit here for the time being, along with the other two. Although I might close ranks and bring them around over to the power plant here. Just so that I gather my troops, so to speak. And yes, it's only a sand road, same as the other, that needs to be finished. Gather the vehicles in one place. That way I know where they are. And again, we could go crazy and pave this whole map practically, if we so chose. But that is a ton of sand to deal with. I think I am going to sand this over though. Just to make it easier to run across. Since I've got the equipment here and all, makes sense. Pretty similar physics and inertia do the work mostly for us. Of where to put the truck. Although she seems to want to roll today. These wood roads or something else. Walk roads. They're kind of my first target of affection. Where are you going, truck? Oh, I was saying something about all the social media stuff while we're doing mundane unloads of sand. Yeah, Twitch, follow, and subscribe. Throw something in the chat for me. So far I've seen not much action in that, but I'd love to have some viewers. So turn on the notifications. That way you know when I'm online. I don't have a regular schedule at the moment. I might set that up a little later. Since I've been out of work. I may be able to go back to that. And of course this thing decides that it's going to open up YouTube for me when I'm trying to clear the notifications of my own. Anyway, and then over on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. YouTube subscribing is free, whereas Twitch it does cost. So the subscription is kind of like a membership that YouTube has for the monetized channels. I'm not monetized at this time, so I can't say anything about that much. As far as YouTube goes. But it sounds like a pretty good idea. You know, I can never get it to go through and all that. I know there's certain metrics that I have to meet with YouTube, whereas on Twitch, the subscribe button does cost. And it's a monthly thing, if memory serves. But also on my Twitch channel, I have links to things like my Patreon page that I've yet to figure out how to do on YouTube. I just gotta spend the time and poke around the system and make it do what it's supposed to do. Make it work for me. But anyhow, I use Twitch to record so I can upload to YouTube as well. So I have things on both. I don't edit my videos. I know, terrible. If somebody out there wants to offer that as a free service to me, that'd be fine. I could work with someone on that, but right now, nothing gets edited. You're seeing the raw footage. And that's the way it's going to stay. But yeah, like and subscribe, and join us on Twitch the next time I'm streaming. Xbox only lets us stream through Twitch, just so that's clear. So all those folks that are streaming on YouTube, that's all on computer or through a capture card. There's an automatic system for Twitch with the Xbox. It's kind of interesting how that works. And again, with YouTube, there's also the notification bell too, so that you can tell when I upload a new video. Or when the internet decides to act up, videos. I don't know if I could see myself running a dump truck for a living. It seems kind of repetitious and boring almost, but there's a lot more driving involved than this game has right now for me. Because I have it set up so it automatically refills. Well, I hit a button and it refills. As far as career paths go, I don't have the truck driving license for this either. But in the game, I can play around with dump trucks and excavators and whatever else have you. And nobody says boo. And at the end of the day, it's a simulator. So, is this a career path I would choose? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. Given how bumpy the spaces are that the dump truck has to go through, probably not. I like my kidneys intact, thank you. demon stuff. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't know you had even that much. Oh, you know what? We need to track a new objective. Restore power. We're going to track that. So that we could see what's going on. We're almost to the end of this run. The wood is actually there to give the vehicles a little bit of traction. It's just the sand looks a little better. The pavement works better than that. So, since we're tracking this project, oh, it doesn't show it. Infrastructure. Power substation there. Factories over here. We gotta connect the two. So we could go right across this swamp. Do it that way. Or we could follow along next to the road and down. I've done that before. I think I might go across the swamp. So as soon as we're done unloading this, that's gonna be it there. We'll probably sand the road going along the swamp. Maybe along the edge of the swamp so we're not tearing up the environment too much. Just to lay wire. Alright. Now we're going to put this guy off to one side for a minute. Take our dozer and spread that out some. Flatten it. And then I think we're going to have to scout a spot to run that wire across. Calling it a swamp, it's pretty much just a puddle of sorts. Left over from the storm. But, yeah. We gotta get our cable layer out here, along with our paving equipment. Flatten it out a little bit more. Oh yeah, and one of the links on my Twitch account is, or my Twitch channel is a link to the Patreon. don't have a lot on there. I haven't come up with what I want to put up there. But I did put a link that leads straight to the series of books on Amazon that my wife wrote. And we're trying to generate some income and revenue from that. So any help on that subject would be great. I need somebody out there that's willing to spend for $3 to test the link, make sure it works, and to get back to me if it doesn't. So there's that. All right. This thing, we're gonna run across that road real quick. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Beautiful. No major bumps and hills and stuff. See, and then the factory is just down the road here. We're gonna run along the wetland there and lay our cable. And it's gonna power this whole facility. We're going to come back up here to the base. Well, there's our cable layer. We need that. Oop, I just needed to play and I look at it. Button. Let's get our transport truck. Because we're going to take more than just the cable layer, I think. If we can. So if you bring out more than one vehicle at the garage, it makes one of them a ghosted image like that. That's normal. Uh-oh. Forgot we have NPCs driving through this neighborhood. So now we can run this thing up there. And she's a little slow and rough. Let's set it on the wheels there. And then other vehicles that we need out abouting are going to be our nice Roadworks Special. And the roller. A little bit nicer than the starting roller. Different model. Apparently. Okay, I got our equipment out. So here we are back at our power base, or power station anyway. If you hear random things going on in the background here, that'd be my wife trying to advertise her channel over there. She gets really loud with the word subscribe. Alright, that gets this thing delivered. It was loud enough that it hit my chat. Or the overlay thing. That's how I could tell if you're getting too loud for the channel over here. Alright. I'm going this one. The edge of this. I think what we're just gonna do is plot our course here to here and along this ridge around to there, next to the rock, not too close I hope, and then end it about here. Hopefully that's enough. So, let's see what we get on that. Okay, first point is where we're going to open up this thing. In case you missed my previous video where I used one of these. This basically digs a trench and puts down wire. That's its whole life, is it's a wire layer. And behind it, it leaves a berm of dirt. Maybe not the smartest path, but it seems to be working. Not zoom in, go forward. Car. And you're thinking, Darth, what was the point of paving that road over there if you're just going to do it over here? I don't want the berm on the road. It makes paving a lot harder over there. Been there, tried that. It works, but it's tougher. Or I think the actual way that they do this like that is that they lay the cable like this and then they lay a load of sand on either side and pave it. And we're just about there. 2, 1, boop. Waiting for the boop. There we go. 1 boop. Okay. And somehow putting together power rebuilt the whole building. I'm working on that.
Good grief.
But
You make it all look easy. With the new power cable, we'll have no trouble keeping this factory running. Great job. If we're to fix this whole area, we can never have too many materials. There's no point just sitting around while we wait for HQ to send us everything we need. Or for everything we need to just fall from the sky. Which, let's be honest, is more probable. I suggest you check out the steel pipes facility. It's close to the center of the operations area. If it's working, we'll be cutting out a lot of waiting time. Speaking of cutting out time, there's a stump mulcher that might be very helpful in clearing a path for you. It's in the truck's shack near the relay. Swing by there and pick it up.
Okay, so now there's a mulcher sitting back at the relay. We'll have to take a pickup truck or something over there to check that out. But for right now, you're seeing all the tires and things like that that are in yellow. Those are things you can sell, not things you can use to recycle. There's certain things you can recycle and certain things you can't on this game. But our operation is up and operational here. We just need some metal junk to put in there. Things like cars and whatnot. Rusted dead tanks and whatever else have you. We're going to park this thing for the minute. I remember we brought this truck over. Now I can put it to use. We brought this tank over from the relay area as well. So, the marker with the stuff and an arrow pointing up away from it, that's where you pick things up. The one with the arrows pointing in a circle, that's where you drop stuff off. And see, we've already got one steel beam produced. How about that? And if you notice, there's a hint up there, but I've been kind of skipping those at the moment. I've read them before, but, you know, because recycling points, there's nothing new so far. Although this one's different than the previous one, but it does the same thing. The one on the other map made pipes instead of beams. This one makes beams. Alright, but we need to track a new project. We do have 2 infrastructure projects. One's to lay the asphalt on that road, and the other is to pour sand on a road we haven't discovered yet. I don't even know why that's on my list. But they also want us to pick up the mulcher, which, whoop, is way over here. That's one thing. And they want us to explore the steel pipes factory that we have yet to uncover. Yeah. So, I'd say it's time to find some metal and drop off for the beams production. The beams are just going to sit in the factory for the time being because we don't have anything that needs them yet on this list so far. And then our side quest is to deliver a truck to the Highland base. A truck we've yet to find because we haven't gotten that far yet. Okay. So let's go get the mulcher. And for that, we're going to do things the easy way. Garage. We need this truck out anyway. Deploy. We'll go get our mulcher. Because there's going to be a mission we're going to use it for. And it's something that fits on this truck. Ta-da! One mulcher. Strapped to what looks like a caterpillar.
This factory isn't going to do us much good if it doesn't have any power. But all these tree stumps won't let you bring a power cable in. Aren't you glad you brought that mulcher? It's time to put it to good use, don't you think?
Well, we have to get our mulcher over there. Now this is, again, the rusty variant. We're just gonna play with it for the time being. We'll buy one sooner or later. It'll be a little less rusty, a little better transmission. Maybe we'll do that now and I'm done with it. Remember to set that parking brake. So, maybe that's what we'll do right now. We're just gonna take this thing right back up the hill to the base and drop it in the garage and go buy us a good one. And our big truck is still out and about as far as that goes. Otherwise we'd have those going. Well, a little bit of role play is always good. Now that we've acquired this thing, open the garage, find it on the list. Retain it. Can't sell it. Can retain it. Okay. I would qualify it as specialized equipment, wouldn't you? There's a not so rusty cable layer in here too. We'll get that. I don't see the other. Oh, let's take a look at the other sections. Dozers and dump trucks and rollers and DLC content they should have left off this list until you buy the DLC. Wouldn't that make sense? No, it flashes when there's stuff that they think you should buy. This is the smaller variant of the roller we've got. No, I'm not doing that. Just like this is the dozer that we've got. We already own one. Don't need more than that. This looks to be a bigger bulldozer. I might pick one of those up. Ooh, wouldn't that be nice? Done. Collect that. Somehow we have two of those. Oops. Oops. Well, we'll have to deal with that. And then this is the smaller version, which is what I thought we had. Huh. Well, anyway. You know what else was useful in another file? It's the bigger dump truck. Let's do that. Now, normally in this game, you would not be at the point where you could get such things, because you wouldn't be a high enough level for it. Nah. Let's try a different category. See if we can find that mulcher. Actually, I think it's under forestry. There it is. So there's that version, the MTK. I might go with that because that's what we have normally. And that's what a nice version of it looks like. Kind of small, kind of proud, kind of in my pocket. We could put that to good use. Then there's this one that's a different kind of mulcher. Well, it does the same thing and it tears up ground. That's its whole purpose in life. And instead of 1 tine, it's got 4. I think the other one just had 1. Oh, it doesn't have any tines. So the other mulcher is actually designed to almost plow the ground that you're using, or that you're going over with its stump grinder. That's an interesting effect. We'll pick one up and play with it. See what it can really do. The rest of these things are going to be log grapples and forwarders and things like that. Tree harvesters. Things we've played with on Farm Sim for a while now. And there's a few other things out there. And there's a few pieces of equipment out there that might be useful to have. And I don't know what an SAR truck does. So we'll have to wait until we come across one in the game before we mess with that. But so far, it just looks like a rescue vehicle of sorts. You know, I don't see a need for it, though. It's definitely got a longer winch, though. It looks top-heavy. What's this are? A little lighter, but still looks top-heavy. Matches with a lot of the trucks I've got. The older design. And then this is the little guy. Interesting. I don't know what SAR trucks do for me, so there's that. Okay. Alright, I think we've done enough shopping for one time being. We're going to try clearing the ground near that. We'll open that up. That's the space we need to clear there. Most of it's undiscovered space. And there's a road that, a dirt path, I can't say road, that leads up to it. So, I'd say it's time. Here, open a garage, and we're going to deploy this thing. Ooh, that's the newer version. Let's go for the older version. Play with it a little bit. See, the older one's yellow, and then I bought one. They make it gray in here. Mine's red. And that was a choice that we made when we first set up the file. It was a company color choice. You know what? I'm going to try putting this on backwards. I think that's how this kind of thing would get loaded. Oh, come on, turn. We still need to get our other truck back over here and pick those two up. Although I think that bigger unit there may or may not work on that. Let's see if this works better. Yep. It's still glitching on the ramp a little bit, but we'll survive. Let's get this over to the project. I'm going to drop this off to the project, go and get my semi, and come back for those two pieces of equipment. See about paving some things. And it's not too far away. Okay, here's our turnoff here. Down there's where we absolutely have to mulch. To get there, well, might mulch a little bit on the way there. And the tracks will just go right straight through all that stuff. Like it was nothing, but we want to show off this thing. Activate the mulcher. And it's just going to tear up some ground. Kind of give us a pathway across. Takes a little bit of time, but sometimes time is what we need to spend on this. It does make for some deep ruts, though. Oh, now you see what I mean? It just tears up whatever's in front of it. I don't know if those lugs are just decoration or something I could tear up. I'm not looking to tear them up, though, in case I need them. In case they are usable. And this gives us an idea of what we're going to cross through to get where we're going. Almost like a route planner or something, you know? Looks like it also made something of a dam for the rest of the swamp. It left some water in these ruts, but not too much. That's kind of interesting. Stop and look at the map here. There's a path that leads this way and leads right up to that facility. But see, power is way over there. So we'd have to come out and around and down and across all that swampland and over to here. I don't see any other method though, really. That's why that pathway's there. The sand quarry is right there. See, on a different difficulty, you'd have to drive actually all the way to the sand quarry to get your sand. Because it's a thing. So, we're almost to our destination, the project site. I'm gonna get it there, and then we'll just turn this off and go get our other paving equipment. Get them started on things. And we get another one of those droid spam callers calling my wife. It's always fun. So we're gonna take and park this thing for a minute. I know we didn't have to mulch all this, but I wanted to, just so we have a path established, essentially. And get this guy out of the way. We're gonna take and come out here to where we left that truck. Not the dozer, the truck. Not pulling forward, I'll tell you that. Back this thing on out of here. Might run the dozer across that one more time before we pave it, just to make sure it's smooth. Same goes for this. This looks a little rough, but that's just the nature of sand on this game. If you don't do something with it right away, it gets rough. It's designed to do that so that you come back through and pave it and don't just leave a sand road everywhere. We have to come through here and clean up a bunch of this stuff in the factory. Oh, there's our automatic worker. Okay. He's doing his business. Get this thing flipped around so we can do ours. Well, not the best parking on the thing, but if it works. It worked. We got a couple of spots that we want to around the area. Lovely. So if my stream stops suddenly, I apologize ahead of time. So far it hasn't, but the internet connection in the house here has been off and on limited. And not a paid advertisement for them, but Verizon is our provider. I might talk to the settings for them. Or better internet service. You know, it'd be bad to advertise something that cuts out all the time. Interesting. Hey, there. Note. And this is a little bit bigger version of the roller. How about that? And that gets those two up and running. And while they're working on that project, I can come back over here and take care of this project. I don't know why it takes that much space to make a road, but that's what they want. Maybe they expect me to make a really super wide road. And if you hear my wife talking in the background, she's streaming on, I can't place it whether it's Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy. It looks like Jeopardy. And she tends to get loud when she tells the clues, so be aware of that. Nothing behind us. Go to the next one. Tree stump. Nom, 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 nom. That takes care of that portion of the project. Clears up this area and leaves us a path. And an extra stone just for good measure. Now, what could possibly be in here? We need a back entrance for it. Road out that way. Oh look, a whole junkyard. Okay, sorry. My eyes were acting up. Take care of that real quick. Okay, well, I think we need to scout something here and figure out what's going on. What is this? Oh, it's a crane. Oh, okay. Well, that's not something we need right this second. What's this one? The other crane. Now we've uncovered some more turf. And that's the destination we need to reach. Well, that's the vehicle we have, so let's go for a drive. So much of that drive stopped off. Okay, well, we've uncovered that at least. What is this vehicle way over here? Oh, that's where our truck is. Oh, we already picked up the tank, so we can get this out of here. All kinds of things yet to... Yeah, all kinds of things yet to be picked up, and the Xbox party has got out on me again. Isn't that nice of it? I think I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with my Discord because it lasts longer than the parties do. As far as being able to see when my voice is working or not. Alright, that puts the pickup truck at home. Alright. I gotta pick a different vehicle to work with. Connect electricity to there. So we need our cord layer. That's the rusty version. We bought a new version of this. We just haven't deployed it yet. But this guy's already out here, so... Okay. What are we gonna do? We need to get power to that. One option is from here. As far as I know, that's the option to have, so... Site objective. Oh, that's still a cargo truck. Nope. Okay, and what do we got in infrastructure? We got connect electricity. We got replace pipes. Because there's pipes that need to be fixed in this place, too. Let's do that. Wonder what pipes. I don't know. What pipes needed it here? Well, let's clear this area so we can drive through here. Even though not strictly a mission yet. Take care of business. At least enough to get through. I'm sure there'd be a mission to clear more. Kitty cat's got the zoomies. Good books, but you're not on the list. Okay, that clears the road a little bit. Let's see by hitting that marker.
Dump. I don't think you can do much until you clean this joint up. Might be an idea to get the larger hunks of trash, like that scrap metal, out of the way. At least there are some cranes that can help with that.
Well, now we have instructions to clean the place up, even though we already did that. Or most of it. Okay, takes care of that spot.